Yeah, that's a good point. Well, U.S. authorities, like you said, they may be tracking devices on shipments of advanced AI chips, but industry sources tell me we shouldn't expect to see these trackers on individual NVIDIA chips anytime soon.
Picture this, billions of dollars worth of NVIDIA's advanced AI chips, not stolen, not seized, but deliberately destroyed in China. A shocking act that has become more than just a headline. It's a symbol of defiance, a symbol of resistance, and perhaps a glimpse of a new global tech war. How did a computer chip become more powerful than missiles, more valuable than oil, and more dangerous than any weapon on Earth? Today, we uncover the story behind the burning silicon, the rise of a conflict that could reshape the future of humanity. Part 1, the roots of the conflict. To understand why China would destroy shipments of NVIDIA chips, we must go back to when the United States, under the Trump administration, unleashed a series of sanctions on Chinese technology. At the heart of these sanctions,
it would have never left our shores. We had 100% of chips originally, and then we slowly got taken down to nothing. We have the biggest chip companies, to both of them, but we have the biggest in the world coming in. They're going to Arizona and beyond.
Were semiconductors, the tiny brains of our modern world. These chips power everything from your smartphone to supercomputers, from self-driving cars to the artificial intelligence shaping tomorrow. But the most powerful AI chips, they came from one company, NVIDIA, and Washington wanted to make sure China couldn't get them. Visuals, montage of Trump speeches, US-China flags clashing, AI supercomputers. Part 2, NVIDIA's gamble. NVIDIA was caught in the middle, America's darling, but also deeply dependent on China, its single largest market. So the company tried a gamble. They built a weaker version of their most powerful chip. They called it the H20. On paper, it looked like a compromise. It could be sold to China without breaking US rules, but was still good enough for artificial intelligence. But this move pleased no one. Washington saw it as a loophole. Beijing saw it as an insult. The result: shipments worth billions piled up at Chinese ports, and soon after came the unthinkable. Part 3, the flames of defiance. Reports began to surface. Containers full of NVIDIA chips destroyed inside China, not returned, not resold, but deliberately incinerated. Why? Because to Beijing, accepting a crippled chip was surrender. To burn it was power. Imagine the message: we will not depend on America. We will not bow down to restrictions. We would rather destroy this technology.
It is having an impact on Chinese companies which are importing this technology to develop their own AI. So it has slowed down and restricted the development to some extent for these companies.
Then let it define us. In that single act, China turned silicon into a symbol of sovereignty. Part 4, the emotional core. Think about it. A chip is just silicon, metal, and circuits. Yet in this moment, it carried something more. It carried pride. It carried anger. It carried the weight of a nation's dignity. For NVIDIA, it was a nightmare: billions in losses, broken contracts, and vanishing trust. For America, it was proof that sanctions had teeth. And for China, it was a rallying cry, a fire that said, we will build our own future, even if we have to start from ashes. Part 5, the bigger game. But this was never just about NVIDIA. This is about control of the future. AI is the new oil. Whoever controls the most advanced chips controls the future of medicine, war, finance, and even information itself. By restricting NVIDIA's sales, Washington hoped to slow Beijing down, but history shows us something dangerous. Sanctions often push nations to innovate faster, and that's exactly what is happening. China is investing billions into domestic chip making. Its engineers are racing to close the gap. Its companies are building supercomputers with homegrown silicon, and the destruction of NVIDIA's chips, it wasn't just anger. It was strategy, a message to local firms: do not rely on outsiders. Build your own. Part 6, the uncertain future. NVIDIA will try again. A new chip, the B30A, weaker than before, designed to slip past sanctions. But the question is, will China even want it anymore? The US Commerce Department is already facing the largest export backlog in 30 years. Billions of dollars of chips are stuck in limbo, and every day, China edges closer to self-sufficiency. So where does this leave us? On one side, America trying to protect its technological edge. On the other, China refusing to be left behind. And in the middle, companies like NVIDIA torn between profit and politics. This is not just trade. This is not just technology. This is a new kind of Cold War one, fought not with bombs, but with code, silicon, and fire. So the next time you unlock your phone, play a video game, or ask an AI to answer your questions. Remember this: behind every chip lies a battle of nations, of pride, of futures, and maybe, just maybe, when those shipments burned in China, the world witnessed the spark of something far greater. Not the end of trade, not the end of technology, but the beginning of the greatest tech war humanity has ever seen.